Alright, so starting off here, I can tell that this is the early chest generation, so I'm gonna be heading towards the bottom just to see what item I get from the chest. And if it's bad, then I'm just gonna restart it, but if it's good, I'll keep on going. I got Angry Bullets, which isn't super good, but it does give me a little bit of a damage boost, so it's worth continuing, at least for a little bit longer. And then continuing with early chest generation, I'm gonna go up top to get out of this loop. Angry Bullets is really weird in that it doesn't really go a particular direction. It just kind of goes, and sometimes it hits enemies. I'm trying to bring these enemies closer together so that the bounce shots actually hit multiple targets, but I didn't have much luck with that. So this exit actually has, or this room has 3 exits, so I know one of them is the fireplace. But more than likely, the shortest exit is going to lead towards the boss room, as it is the case. I get the Gatling goal, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult, considering I only had the starting pistol, and Angry Bullets aren't gonna be too useful. Ideally, with Angry Bullets, what I was looking for is the trigger twins, but can't always, you can't really just rely on luck for that. I was okay hit here. I didn't mean to do that. I thought I didn't move far enough for this, but I guess that wasn't the case. But yeah, ideally for the pilot and the marine as well, you want to have another weapon before you fight the first boss. This way, this fight is significantly shorter than what I'm having to go through right now. But almost done here. As I finish up, and I will be getting a weapon from the from the Gatling Goal. I get the Helix, so that's actually pretty nice considering I have Angry Bullets. The only problem is that's hard to aim, so having to use this weapon for bosses as well as room clearing is going to be a little bit difficult. However, if you do land both shots on an enemy, it just deals a massive amount of damage. There's nothing in the shop that's worth buying. I could have gotten some shields, but that's not really worth. I don't really find that as a good use of my money. I chased down this Chanskin so I can maybe get some ammo out of him. Unfortunately, I get a glass Stone, which is probably the worst thing I could have gotten. I know that this wasn't or that Sharp Boom, excuse me, is does count as a room, so that's really lucky that I didn't have to fight anyone. Because I was starting to get a little bit low on Helix ammo. Let's get the holster, which is nice. Actually, really any second floor boss would have been fine with the Helix. Just because their hitboxes are relatively large. Or large enough for the Helix to constantly be hitting with both bullets that come out. Not only that, but with the Angry Bullets, I can actually destroy the missiles really quickly. It would have been more difficult if I had something like a pistol trying to shoot down the missiles. But yeah, that was a really easy holster fight with the Helix. And I got the sniper rifle. Just as a spoiler alert, I don't get the scope during this run. So I can't do any 360 yes scope shenanigans. Unfortunately, this weapon is also not too good for It's decent for room clearing. Unfortunately, though, there's not too much ammo in it, and that's the real issue. Because in the very near future, I don't really get too many ammo drops, so I get another glass quanstone instead. I actually didn't know which way was going to be the correct way. I just knew that I wanted to go to a chest. When I first went this way, I was thinking that this would lead to a chest. Unfortunately, or rather, it didn't. That wasn't the case. So I just continue going this direction, and this next room should have the boss, or lead to the boss room. And what I should do is actually go back so I can find the other chest, so I have a chance to get another weapon before I take on the boss fight. Unfortunately, I only get table tech money, which is basically useless. And over there, that was just me accidentally leaving my sniper rifle behind. As I can try to gun drop as best as I can with it. So basically, if you gun drop with a sniper rifle, you can actually shoot faster, or at a faster rate than it does normally. So that's what I'm trying to do as best as I can. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to aim, gun drop, and also dodge at the same time. Fortunately, now Cannon Battle Rug actually stays still, so it's a lot easier to dodge, and I can do my gun dropping a lot more efficiently. Unfortunately, I also don't get any ammo from him, and I'm left with the beehive. So what I do is actually go back, because I know the shop is right in the next room, or connected to the next room. So knowing that, I actually decide to take a step back and try to see if he has any ammo on him, which he doesn't. But he does have the sling, which I gladly buy. I consider gun munching the helix as well as the helix as well as sniper rifles, since they're both so low on ammo. But I decided that's probably not for the best, and just hoped for an ammo to drop on the 4th floor. And there goes all my ammo in the sniper rifle. And I try to be as ammo conservative as I can with the beehive, trying not to shoot out too many bees at once, because I know they'll bounce around to other enemies. Yeah, this is just one of those runs where you just happen to not get any ammo drops, and that makes it a lot more difficult. Like, the weapons I have are fine. The only issue is I'm not getting the ammo for them. So I see both the Chanskin as well as the Keykin, but I don't really care about chests as much right now. I go after the Chanskin to see if he drops any ammo. He actually drops a shield, in case you didn't catch that. But the shield immediately breaks because I got hit right afterwards. That was a pretty bad dodge roll on my part. I tried to lockpick this chest because I was desperate on to get a weapon. Unfortunately, it didn't work out and break it. Don't get any ammo. Don't get any ammo out of it. Now the fight is Blockner, which is a real pain. But if I do finish him off, I get to actually have some ammo potentially as a reward. And now I'm forced to use the sling. And the problem with the Blockner is that his hitbox is so small. I'm not really comfortable using bounce shots against him. You see there, I try a couple times, but it doesn't really work out. Unfortunately, he also doesn't give any ammo. So I'm forced to use Sling for the rest of until I get another ammo drop. Very nice pound shot right there. Fortunately, just missing out on the blue shotgun kin. I could have been gun dropping here, but I was not that smart. I finally get an ammo drop and he's on the Helix. Was it the best choice? I'm not too sure. Looking back, considering how much the Helix can potentially miss in rooms and how hard it is to use sometimes, it might have been best choice, and I might have been better off using on the Beehive or the sniper rifle. I was really fortunate here. The Puma actually changed into a Dynamikin, so I don't have to worry about him. And I got another ammo drop here, which I again use on the Helix. Over here, it's a little bit difficult for me to tell which way is the right way to the boss. But either way, it wouldn't matter because I would want to visit the shop anyway, potentially for some ammo. When I switched over to the sling, I was thinking I had my starter weapon as my next favorited weapon, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. He does have some ammo, but then I went over to this room and got double vision instead. Which, looking back, uh, I should have gone the staff of firepower. Probably would have been a better choice. And here I'm gonna be facing up against the priest. Unfortunately, I get the priest like 4 times this run, and I also use double vision right there, and he immediately disappears. For his first attack, which is a real dongus move. So I basically just wasted double vision right there. Unfortunately, I also get the grass chopper here, which is gonna be essentially useless. And then get the ammo for the Helix as well. I should get back up to full health before leaving. So yeah, definitely looking back, I should have gone the staff of firepower. It would have been a lot more useful. I'm actually really fortunate right here. I got the best generation on the second floor, so I don't need too much ammo. Unfortunately, this enemy is really annoying to deal with, especially with the Helix, where it's hard to hit him. Actually, unfortunately, even though I got the best generation, I remember for this one, I believe I had to go through, I think, 3 extra rooms before I got to the boss, so it didn't really even matter that it was the best. Because at that point, I went through, I believe, 5 rooms. But we can see right here how many extra rooms I go through. I'm very fortunate double vision actually is still continuing, so I can destroy all those enemies. So here's 1 extra room. Here's the second extra room. This one's also pretty difficult because there's another very annoying mage. Here's a third extra room. Again with the annoying mages. And I looked around to see if there's anything better I could use, but it wasn't the case. I just kind of had to deal with it. Using the helix. If it wasn't for the sling, I might have just given up on this run. Yeah, so that was 3 extra rooms. So in total, I went through six rooms for the forge. I was double vision here. I don't know how actually useful it was. Because this thing is already such a good weapon for the dragon. I actually timed that blink correctly so I can completely cancel out the throwing knives attack. That's something I have a hard time with the timing, or a hard time getting the timing down for. I actually thought I would get double vision back. That's why I used it one more time beforehand. And unfortunately, my best weapon to use right now is Grasshopper, alternating with the Helix. I hit ones right there, and I also got a really bad one right there where I had to be really far from the heart. So right now that it didn't look like that was going to be even a 2 cycle based on damage that I did, but this time around I have double vision. So I'll be unlocking that immediately. Unfortunately, I stand too close because I'm trying to get close enough for double helix. Also right here, I actually managed to fall twice. I just wasn't really paying attention. I was looking at the time, my timer, and I was like, man, this is still gonna be slightly okay. So yeah, that's like a really big time loss right there, or a fair time loss. So in retrospect, this was a pretty rough start. That 11.5 seconds behind on my previous one definitely could have been closer to 0 if I hadn't fallen. And if I had got more ammo, it definitely would have been better as well. I don't think it was an issue with bad weapons so much as just a lack of ammo drops. So I start off as Marine in this weird room, and what I'm trying to do is stay close to the walls whenever the grenades show up, because I'm actually in their vision somehow. And by doing that, I don't have to navigate through the tunnels. This is actually a 3-2 generation I see. So what I'm thinking right now is I have to go through the long exit to the left. Get a glass one stone, just pick it up. It's not going to be too important, but it's worth having around just for a little bit of extra protection. I maneuver that dynamite a little bit out of the way so I can have a clear path to the exit while he continues to explode. What I was trying to do there as I moved upwards was try to get this blue shotgun king to be hit by the dynamite. Fortunately, I missed, or like it pushed him out of the way. I was actually looking for the boss over here, but I was very fortunate to get a really nice item out of this chest with the table tech rage. So what I'm going to do is actually open up the boss door and then head on back to get to this, to go through this chest loop in order to find the chest. I actually just immediately forgot that I had table tech rage. And I actually did that more out of protection than for the rage effect. And then that's when I remember that table tech raging to continue to flip tables. I actually should have flipped the table right there. I was thinking this was going to be a quarter without any enemies in it. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Look at the meat gun or the bait launcher, which is really good. Unfortunately, I got the trigger twinge, which makes this fight a lot more difficult using the meat gun or the bait launcher, which I'm just gonna be calling meat gun from here on out. Because what I'm trying to do is kill one of them at a time, but I can't really control where the tigers are going as easily, so I'm accidentally doing damage to both of them instead of doing one at a time. I do get hit once there, meaning I don't get the flawless. That's not too important. I also get light gun out of this, which is it's fair. It's gonna be at least decent whenever I flip tables. Fortunately, in terms of ammo efficiency, it's not too great. Unfortunately, I keep on missing against that BD because of the spread of this weapon. Got a nice table that I can flip right there. Do some nice damage to these shotgun kin. So I got a 3-3 generation, so I know that I want to take a longer exit, especially for the second floor, or particularly for the second floor. If you get this particular one, you do want to take a longer exit, and not a shorter one. Pick that up just in case I need it for later. Unfortunately, I get hit right there. But I needed that table damage boost. I am gun dropping. I'm just kind of waiting until the end of my clip still. Just so I can get the duck out, which does a fair amount of damage. I'm very fortunate to get a damage drop right there. I accidentally go the wrong way before heading the right direction towards the boss fight. I considered switching over to the meat gun, but decided it's best to just use the light gun for now. Was it the best decision? It's kind of hard to say for me. I was just making sure that I was always reaching the end of the clip so I can actually shoot at the ducks and do the maximum damage that I can. Fortunately, I get hit right there, which means I don't get another flawless, and I also wasn't able to kill the egg. So that Amakana gets another speed boost. As well as some health back. I blinked right there because I was afraid the Amakana was actually going to trap me. And I also don't pay attention to this last day because I know I can kill the Amakana before then. Yep. Got the shot bow, which is fairly decent, but here's the thing about the shot bow. The shot bow gives you a higher chance to find the teleporter prototype. And that's a big reason why it's really good to get it. Because it gives you that higher chance of getting one of the best items for speedrunning. Yeah, I didn't actually have to follow this. You can actually just completely jump across when you have a faster out of combat speed as well as the turbo mode on. You can just completely go across the bottom platforms. But I just want to play a little bit more safely right there, which I guess I didn't really need to because I ended up going for that, going towards the bottom pass anyway. So right here I'm just gun dropping. I'm not really particularly aiming. I'm just trying to hit these skulls. Again, I'm gun dropping with the shot bow because it has a faster fire rate. If I gun drop with it. Here I'm just deciding which direction I want to go. Here I probably should have used an amulet, or not the amulet, a blank, so I can kill all the enemies in this room pretty quickly. Speaking of which, I got another blank out of it anyway. So I'm a little bit low on health, but it's right now I think it's fine, especially because I got the tank, which makes it a lot easier to fight him with the bait launcher. I'm not even too sure what I was trying to do there. Like I saw the explosive coming at me, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then I just ate in the face. That one I actually just blanked in order to avoid getting hit by it there. And there goes that tank fight. Fortunately, I am a little bit low on health, but I do get the Hyperlight Blaster, which is great because it synergizes with the light gun. I took a brief moment to consider maybe going back and finding a shop, but decided against it. I'm pretty safe now that I have the Hyperlight Blaster in terms of ammo efficiency. Especially with Table Tech Rage, it does a fantastic amount of damage. I was being a little bit careful. I thought the exit was there. I'm being a little bit careful with my aim with the Hyperlight Blaster because I just don't want to miss. Fortunately, it turns out not to matter later on. I got the Derringer there, which is not even gonna matter the entirety of this run. But here's the teleporter prototype, which I was talking about before. So what I do here is actually use the the supply drop on my light gun, and then pick up the teleporter. I don't really pay attention to where I am right now until I actually finish off all the enemies. And just based on the location of where or the fact that the shop is in the next room tells me it tells me where I am basically. There was nothing of interest there. And I refilled the ammo in the shot bow a little bit. It's gonna come into play later on. So here, both the exits that came out of the previous room looked like they could lead towards the exit that connects from where I started. And here is another situation where I should have used the blank instead, instead choosing not to do so, or not choosing to do so, just completely forgetting about it really. And here I see the priest again. I think I see the priest like 4 times for the rest of the remainder of this run, as I miss some of my Hyperlight Blaster shots because he disappears. It would have been a lot. I think the time would have been a lot better if I had gotten the wall the or the kill pillars, just because they don't disappear. So I'm not missing out on that DPS. As I actually miss. I remember that I'm not supposed to gun drop with Hyperlight Blaster when it's synergized, just because of how it works. When you gun drop with it in terms of ammo. So I actually get back to full right here. And that ammo that was in the shop, I can actually use on the Hyperlight Blaster, getting back up to full. And now having 22 shots instead of the 18, or even the 12 when it's not synergized. Immediately using this teleporter prototype right there. So here it looks like I'm in a chest loop. So I leave as best as I can. Flip the table, get the rage get the rage going. Fortunately, because of the fact that the shots are homing when you get the upgraded version, sometimes they don't really know which enemy they want to go to, so I waste a little bit of ammo there. Like, I'm playing a little bit carefully just so I don't waste the ammo that's in the Hyperlight Blaster. So yeah, like that enemy just ate up some of my shots, which is definitely not what I want. Head on down here. Unfortunately, I can't afford anything here. Right now, I'm just checking the map to see if the direction I just picked was the right direction. Fortunately, it's not the case. So here I can basically tell that uh, going up is the right way to go. Fortunately, unfortunately, I had to deal with the mini boss, but I just teleported out of there. And very fortunately enough, that means I don't have to deal with him. And here, based on the number of exits, I know that the way to the right is going to be to the boss. So that was a really nice teleport. That took me out of having to fight that mini boss, which saved me a good amount of time. And here I just buy some ammo for the Hyperlight Blaster, which I'll be using for the dragon fight. I'm actually firing a little bit slowly, so I'm not completely destroying the DPS cap of the dragon. The Hyperlight Blaster has a lot faster fire rate than this. And so yeah, Hyperlight Blaster can make an easy one cycle for the Dragon Heart, especially when it's synergized, so not getting a one cycle here would have been pretty disastrous. I also have gold amulet, so I'm going to be actually be using one blank here as well to ensure that I get the enough damage output. So yeah, this turned out to be a really solid uh, marine time. Unfortunately, my previous one, or my previous best also had a really good marine time. So I actually get a time loss here as well. Overall, for that run, it had a pretty rocky start, but later on, right after I got the Hyperlight Blaster, it was basically secured to be more of a quicker run. And especially getting teleported prototype, it definitely helped out in getting a time as low as that. So here I can see it's a 2-2 generation, which means I can get both a shop as well as a chest relatively quickly. I go the opposite direction, but I will go back for it later on, just so I can see the shop as well as open up with the chest that's there. The shop is a little bit less important because I don't really have a lot of money anyway. And especially for convict, you don't really even need to open up another chest on the first floor. It's something that I chose to do because of this particular generation. If I had a different one, I wouldn't even have bothered. So I see some weapons I do like, or some items as well that I do like. got the Clob, which is so basically that showed that chess wasn't gonna be too useful, but I get a very well, not a very a decent synergy out of it, where I got the double Clob version. So it actually wasn't too bad of a loss. That I opened up that chest, or took the time to open up that chest. I was trying to switch it over to put the revolver there. Unfortunately, I didn't have it set. And over here, there's a mimic, so I have to take the time in here as well to deal with him. I shouldn't have picked up that shield. That's a mistake. But in general, it kind of worked out. Got the snowballer here. I thought it was gonna be more useful than the heavy boots. If the heavy boots synergized or gave the iron stance synergy with the sawed off, I definitely would have taken that instead. But yeah, here I switched between the club as well as the snowballer. Double club isn't too bad, especially since I can freeze enemies still. So I can basically just hit him with all the bolts that come out. So the spread doesn't become as much of an issue. Fortunately, just completely chews through ammo. I actually used the ammo drop on the sawed off because I thought it was gonna be more useful in the end. Fortunately, I can't hit there, but that also means I get double damage on these enemies. I was gonna get gun munchy here, but I'm not gonna use them. I was actually expecting that explosive to basically push the blobs off the edge. Unfortunately, that was not the case. So now I have to deal with these guys, which is really annoying. When I could have just, if that explosion would have just pushed them off, it would have saved me a good amount of time. So here I actually start off with a AU gun, and towards the middle of the fight, I realized that's not as good idea because I'm really missing out on the damage that it actually does, especially with the fire damage adding as well. So I actually switch over to Clob right here, realizing that this might be better. Oh no, I use it first for the missiles, and then I switch over just using it raw. Because it does, you can see like the health is going out pretty quickly, so it does a fair amount of damage, especially since all the shots are landing. I got the Devolver gun, which I'm not even going to use for the entirety of the run. Over there, I was kind of debating of whether I should use on the AU gun or the Clob, and I ended up using on the double Clob. Fortunately, taking a hit right there. And here I actually use on the AU gun, which is definitely useful. Right here, I'm trying to figure out which way is the actual way that the loop goes around, because I don't want to visit the chest this time. And it was kind of hard to see which way would have been the right way towards the loop. And so I was really fortunate to go the right direction for this short generation and just or for this generation as well as just getting a good generation in general for the third floor. Instead of using the cloud this time, I should use the AU gun. Fortunately, kind of Balrog uses this particular attack, which makes it a little harder to aim. So I throw a full Molotov right before it disappears. He's immune to like bullets, but he's still affected by contact damage, and because he's technically staying right in that position, he's always being hit by the fire, even though he's technically in some other dimension. I actually get blasphemy right here, which is makes the run quite interesting. In which sometimes I do want to get hit, and other times I don't because I'm holding blasphemy, but I do want to get hit because the damage bonus. So I switch between the snowball as well as blasphemy, using blasphemy primarily. I was really fortunate that the skull actually died right there because I have a habit of dodge rolling into enemies as the bullet. And basically what that means is I was thinking that I had the contact immunity as a bullet, but I don't as obviously don't as the convict. So I go towards this the king. I actually didn't read the I didn't read the challenge. So once I saw it was the pea shooter one, I decided I'm not gonna do this. It would take too much time. Switch over to blasphemy. If it was something like dodge rolling or uh, not taking damage, that would have been a lot better for me. So I just basically wasted 22 credits right there. Also see this isn't the right way. I check up top here because I don't want to be in a situation where I had to fight the Fusilier. And I was really fortunate that I didn't have to fight him to get to the boss. Usually in this situation, I pick the shorter exit, and I do here as well. Unfortunately, that's not the right way. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I was confused here because I thought it was a 2-2. And even even looking back through my corners, I still think it's a 2-2. It was a 2-3. The reason I thought it was a 2-2 was because Fusilier kind of confused me. So I did waste a fair amount of time here. Yeah, I didn't consider Fusilier as an exit, which I should have, and would have made this generation, or I would have realized what kind of generation this was. I should get the kill pillars, which is really nice for blasphemy. I also threw the Molotov a little bit late there because I didn't realize I had it. And as they switch over here, I switch over to the AU gun and gun drop as best as I can. And once that's all used up, I switch over to blasphemy again. And try to use the double club. Here I was trying to get them both to die at the same time because they were both so low. Fortunately, I missed out on that. I just used blanks here to do some additional damage and help that fight go a little bit quicker. I got hot lead. It's gonna help out a little bit whenever I get the flaming shots out. Again, dodge rolling into him thinking that I'm the bullet, which I'm not. Unfortunately, the Blobulon or the Chansbulon decides to be a dingus and use his Poopulon attack, which made that a little bit more difficult to dodge around. I was really lucky I didn't get hit. I see this is a 3-3, and the first one only had one way out, so I know I don't want to go the longer exit. And yeah, I had basically a 50-50 which direction it was going to be. Fortunately, I picked the dead end route before picking the correct one. So I see one of these rooms is fake. I just don't know which one. And here I figure out which one it is, and actually by Casey. Because I'm gonna use it for the dragon fight. It's really good for him. Looking back, it wasn't the best decision because Balloon Gun would have been more preferable against the dragon. Just push you guys into the lava, and I'll be using Casey primarily. Again, Balloon Gun would have been a lot better situation here. I just forgot that this was the generation that had to go through the shop. Gonna keep on accidentally hitting him because Casey has that forward motion, basically a forward knockback. And I decided to use the club as well as the Casey. And of course getting myself hit so I can get the double damage. I think if I gun dropped one last time, or did that slightly more efficiently, I would have been able to one cycle. It's hard to say. But yeah, overall this run was okay. AU gun definitely helped out for bosses, and the double club turned out to be a lot more useful than I thought it would be. And then getting blasphemy, of course, made the things a lot more safe towards the latter half of this run, as well as quick. If I guard flash more confidently, then it would have been a lot quicker here as well. But a very solid time. But nothing particularly too amazing. However, because of this run, I actually did move up my time, improve the time that I had right now by about a minute, and so now I'm actually in the positive. So again, it's early chat generations, which is nice. Fortunately, I can't aim, And I get the Holy Grail out of the chest, which is like basically means I'm gonna have a good run regardless of what happens. And I start using crossbow more. Well, basically just more in general because I know if I get hit, I can basically refill my ammo. So ammo drops aren't as much of an issue for this run. One of these directions I know is the fireplace, so I took a little bit more time figuring out which way it really was that I wanted to go. Unfortunately, that was a really bad dodge roll. That was also a really annoying attack for him to go for. I picked the wrong one here. Usually one exit is longer, and that's how I can tell which is the direction I want to go. But because they were both the same length, it was more difficult for me to figure out which one was the boss room. I was getting an easy boss in the Bull King. I don't actually know if you need to gun drop with the crossbow based on the damage cap. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually gun dropping in intervals. Sometimes gun dropping and then sometimes going back to normal. I actually leave the chance around until I see the item, usually. And then here I actually forgot to pick up the heart. So I get the face melter here, which is it's fairly decent. I actually use it later on, but it might not have been. It's not exactly the best one to have gotten. Here I get the plunger, which gives me a little bit more damage in terms of poison. So what I'm doing here is switching between the plunger, getting these guys poisoned first, and then switching over to the crossbow. Before I do some very stupid dodge rolls there. In retrospect, I should have known that this long exit was going to lead towards a chest. But right now, I actually can't remember if I wanted. Actually, I think looking back, I didn't actually care if this was the wrong way because I was gonna get an item anyway. Fortunately, I got the hard lunchbox, which means it was basically a waste. In Glass Stone, I'm gonna head over to see what this shop is. It's a Marceline, but she doesn't have anything I'm interested in. Check by the shop to see if he has anything interesting. I get the Tommy gun because it's gonna be pretty good for the entirety of the run with not having to worry about the ammo. Get the Gore gun. Yeah, unfortunately I left the Tommy gun behind, so I got hit right there. I use a blank right here because I want to stay basically around this position for the item drop. And I get the escaper, which is awesome because it basically helps this run go a lot faster. Being able to teleport to the shop, which in general is closer to the boss rooms than the start, or at least for the first few floors, or excuse me, the latter floors. So here, just checking where I am. This is a really weird one because the shop's generally not supposed to be this close to the start. So I'm a little bit confused as to where it is exactly that I am, and exactly what how the map looks. So I figure out in this next room coming up that that's basically where the split that I was looking for. So I actually went the wrong way completely. If I trusted my gut, or basically my brain, I would I should have gone the other exit in the shop, knowing that there's no way that could have led to the starting room. But it was just really hard to say here. So I immediately just head on over back to the shop and very interested in the sling. That's why I paused right there. Didn't have enough money at the time. I'm pretty sure there's another Puma room, but it turned into a dynamite kin, which is really lucky whenever that happens. Makes the room a lot quicker to deal with. You always go towards the loop to figure out which is the right direction. Yep. Here I should buy the sling. Which looking back, I might have been better off just opening up that chest. So here I use this Tommy gun, and right now I'm already thinking I have to get hit, otherwise I'm not gonna have enough ammo for him. So I get hit right there. That actually was accidental. I'm not trying to say that that was on purpose. Um, but I already knew coming into this fight that I was gonna have to get hit once if I want to keep on using the Tommy gun for the entirety of it. But yeah, other than that, it was a uh, pretty clean tank fight. I get the crescent crossbow, which is decent. Looking back, I really wish I got something better out of him, or better as a boss drop. I continue using this, or the crossbow as a room clearer, because charge shot is actually kind of nice. But there were definitely better things I could have gone from him. I have a hard time figuring out exactly where I am. I see it's far from the exit, so I actually kind of like this situation. Or it's pretty far from the start. Over here, it's hard to say which is the right direction. I was very fortunate to be this close to the boss fight. Again, getting priest here, which was over time, definitely does matter a lot. Because basically, as almost any character, it's unavoidable for him to go into his invincible form, which really sucks. That I got him like 4 times over the course of the 6 characters. Also, in case you didn't know, the priest you always have to go in through the bottom. So if you see the basically the boss entrance room and it goes up top, there's a pretty good chance it's the priest. But there's also a chance that it's the kill pillars. But usually it's going to be the priest. And then if it's from the top, you're guaranteed to have the kill pillars. If you're coming in through the sides, there's a better chance of you having the wall. Uh, Here I should do some pretty slick dodging. I didn't mean to dodge like that, dodge those skulls, but apparently that works. I just checked the shop here real quick to see if there's anything I was interested in that I forgot about, but there wasn't. Get a longer generation, which actually is nice because I have the escape rope. But unfortunately, I don't get the long generation that I want. And if I did get the good one, this would have been a very good 6 character time. I was really lucky the chance Speedrun decided to disappear right there, made it a lot easier for me. So here, a little bit difficult to tell which way was the correct one. Usually for loops, they tend to have longer exits, but it was not the case for this time. Here, just trying to figure out which ways the which way is in towards back towards the start because it's kind of hard to tell with those 2 exits. I accidentally fall here, but that makes this room a lot easier. Clearing out those wave of bullets. The fall was not intentional though. It was just I saw it was a trap room, reacted incorrectly, and just fell. Fortunately, old Skelly's very bulky. And here I started heading over towards the dragon fight. See if there's anything interesting. Get some shield. Might as well use the money before I head up against the boss fight. And I'm gonna be using the sling, and that's the whole reason why I bought it. Alternatively, I could have gone use the face melter if the sling wasn't showed up. So regardless, it was gonna be a fast dragon fight. But which one is better? I'm not too sure. Looking back, I actually think the face melter would have been a better choice because I'm still not too sure about how much damage the sling does. But it definitely does do some nice damage to the dragon. It's just the difference between the face melter and the sling is that the sling does high damage at once, while the face melter would have done consistent spray of damage. And I'm more on the consistent damage side than high burst damage. So I didn't actually have anything that was basically 1 cycle, and I was trying to figure out what my best plan of action was. And while I was doing that, I was messing up my dodge rolls because of it. I was trying to get the stereo as close as I could to the heart, but I was messing that up. Regardless, based on the damage I saw, I looked like it was gonna be 2 cycles as long as I didn't mess this up. I actually don't think in that situation there's anything I could have done to 1 cycle, unless I got the stereo in a really nice position. And that spray was just for fun. But yeah, overall for this run, the Holy Grail definitely just made things a lot easier. I didn't have to worry about my ammo conservation. And even then, like if you saw during the run, there wasn't too many ammo drops, I don't think. And so just having that made it a lot easier to deal with, especially since there weren't any jammed enemies or any significant jet enemies for me to deal with. Definitely one of the best deter items, and it gave me a really nice improvement in my time to basically 2 minutes from my personal best. Unfortunately, I had a really long loading time. If you saw the start time right there, it was almost 7 seconds. As this run ended, it was getting my computer was apparently starting to slow down. And there, I was actually really fortunate that the bird died to a dodge roll. Otherwise, I'd taken damage, which would have been embarrassing. Here, I see two two Keykins in a Chanskin, which was really interesting. I've never seen that many in one room. Fortunately, I only get ammo out of the Chanskin, so nothing too useful there. But I did get one of the Keykins, which gave me an extra key. Here, I just would readjust myself so I can use the water. Help me deal with those enemies a lot more quickly. And I don't even bother to go around for a chest or anything just because of I'm playing the robot. Luckily, the king was nice to me and gave you a nice pattern for me to maneuver him out top. Basically, just guaranteeing a flawless for the first for him. But yeah, there's nothing really to talk about as I slowly whittle down the Bullet King here. All I can really say is it's really more. I think it's more important to get the flawlesses on the bosses as the robot. Even though they're not really imperative for speedruns, just having that extra health for the robot is definitely useful because you need more shields and you need health. I see what the item is first, and then I killed the Chancellor. I also was checking to figure out what weapon it was. If it was a bad weapon, I was gonna go around and find the chest. But the AK-47 is pretty solid, so I just took it and left. But I still do want to be ammo conservative, so I switched between this and the AK-47. And by this I meant the my starting hands. Really using the AK-47 for bulkier enemies and the hand for everything else. Here I see that uh Gupton has both the duct tape and the membrane, and I'm thinking to myself like what it is exactly that I want to buy. And so what I decided was I was going to figure out what I get from the boss first, and then figure out if I wanted to use the membrane or the duct tape. Fortunately, I picked the wrong direction here as well. It was kind of hard to tell which one it is. It's more of a 50-50. Let's face off against the Anaconda. AK-47 is fine against it. Membrane would have been a lot more useful had I bought it earlier. But I was really kind of banking on what it was, whatever I would get from the Anaconda was maybe worth getting duct tape. Unfortunately, getting hit right there, that was a really dumb way to get hit. But overall, a pretty quick Anaconda fight. I even get shield out of it regardless. So I get the Excalibur. So I basically see no situation in which I'm actually gonna use duct tape. So I just switch inevitably by the membrane. Check the shop to see if there's anything that I want. See nothing. Use a blank. Check for a secret room and then leave. And really what I was looking for there was ammo. Considering I was getting pretty low on the AK-47. Switching to Excalibur, or excuse me, the AK-47, and then I'm gonna switch over to Excalibur. Just only leave my AK-47 behind. Here, switch over to Excalibur. I actually gun drop with it a couple times before remembering I shouldn't gun drop with this weapon because the reload is really quick. But yeah, here I see I got the best third floor generation again, and I also picked the right direction as well. I saw that the other one spawned first, so he was gonna open up first, and that's why I kind of like pushed past the other guy. So basically, for this generation, there's a short way and a long way, because it's basically just one big loop. And I was very fortunate to pick the short way every time. I used the membrane just because of how the hitbox works for the cannon barrel, not cannon barrel, the tread knot. Basically, I can do a bit more damage with it than I thought it would with Excalibur. If it was maybe like Cannon Valorous or Mind Flayer, I would have used the Excalibur instead. I got Composite Gun, which later on I actually forget that I have basically. Because this is another situation where I fight against the Priest. And that would have been good if I remembered I had the Composite Gun. I actually don't remember I have it until I reached the 5th floor. I'm trying to kill the real Puma here. I'm like ignoring everyone else. Which may not have been the best situation or best decision, but I thought it was for the best. I'm also getting really low on ammo for all my weapons. So I go to shop, see what he has. Don't take the ammo quite yet. So this is the Faded Gen of the 4th generation, and for every Faded Gen, the first Fade room is kind of hard to tell which way is the right way. And here I was lucky to pick the right one. Messed up my gun dropping right there, so I was basically doing nothing for quite a bit there. So again, I forget what generation this is, and I start heading back. Only to remember that this is a 2-3. Kept on thinking it was a 2-2, so... And there I was just reconfirming that it was a 2-3. And now that I'm at the boss and basically haven't gotten any ammo, I'm gonna just buy the membrane. Go against the priest again. And he actually like completely destroys me. Again, this would have been better if I had the if I remembered I had the composite gun. Yeah, I got hit by a wave bullet right there. Those are like really hard for me to be like, yeah, you know, you should expect this. One of the main reasons why I hit the priest is because of the wave bullets that just randomly come out of the sides. And this particular attack. I actually changed my gamma recently so I can see this attack a lot better. My gamma before was really low, so I couldn't even like see most of the time whenever he did that attack. And as you can see, like he completely destroyed me down to three shield. I was very fortunate here to just get the shotgun full of love, because I was in a situation where I was really low on ammo. And then I remembered I had the composite gun, which I actually didn't even bother using until I got to the dragon. Otherwise, that fight would have been a lot quicker. So I was actually really fortunate here that I got a good generation, where I was basically guaranteed to not have to go through that many rooms as long as I picked the right direction, which I did. It was the second longest exit. Shout out to Jason figuring that one out. Get some very nice ammo right there, which I use from the membrane. Another interesting thing, again, the loop is generally the longer exit. This time it was the shorter one again, which is pretty odd to me. So I had to waste some time here. Actually, those two exits look about the same same distance. So yeah, I kind of had to just switch between the membrane as well as the shotgun full of love. Again, composite gun would have been a lot better in the situation. Once I ran out of ammo for the membrane, and I actually had to fight a lot more carefully than I would have liked to, if I didn't get completely destroyed by the priest. Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have taken the time to shoot down that pistol or that throwing knife. Excuse me. Luckily, I had enough ammo left in the membrane to take him down fairly quickly, basically. Shotgun full of shotgun full of love actually doesn't. Shotgun full of hate. Shotgun full of hate doesn't do too much damage. Composite gun would have done more. And here, I'm like 90% certain composite gun actually won cycles, but I messed it up, thinking that a charge shot would have been better. Had I been doing my just doing the regular shots instead of the charge shots, like the first one right here in the beginning, I would have been in a better situation, because then my gun dropping would have been in sync. But I wasn't in sync, so and that's the main problem. And you can see like my for the second part of the second wave, my gun dropping actually comes a lot more rhythmic than it did in the first one, even though it was just like 5 shots. I also got a flawless here, which sure, I'll take it. So yeah, overall this run, it was pretty good. The membrane definitely helped out a lot. It was a good decision to pick that up. Later on, getting duct tape would have been nice for composite gun, but duct tape would have increased my magnificence, so maybe I wouldn't have gone the composite gun afterwards. It's really hard to say. So I think getting the membrane or buying the membrane was the right choice, and that really led me to a good path, uh, to a good time. So basically, I'm really in the green right now, 328 for my personal best. So I really would, and my old bullet time was around, I believe around 17 minutes. So I would have to really screw this up in order to not get a personal best here. Here I actually screw up a little bit and I don't change the bullet like I wanted to. But uh, yeah, I would have to get like a 20-minute time to not improve. So I was playing a little bit more carefully with the bullet, knowing that if I took damage here, it would have been a really basically the worst case scenario. And again, I get early chest generation. Get monster blood, which isn't too useful though. So yeah, I get trigger twins here, which is fine. Unfortunately, I get Star Pew, which is the most bleh thing I could ask for. I might as well have gone nothing. But I do use it occasionally throughout the run. But a good reason to keep Star Pew around is for the trash cannon, which becomes a very fantastic weapon when it's synergized with the Star Pew. And unfortunately, I got the good luck and pick a direction generation, so there was no way for me to tell which way was the right one here. And I never really reached a chest right here, which I got the backpack, which was completely useless. I was very fortunate that the second time, or my second guess was the right one. Otherwise, I would have wasted a lot more time. Sarpy would be a lot better if the damage for the shots was the same damage as the Bubble Blaster. Each bubble of the Bubble Blaster does 12 damage. I don't know how much damage Starpew does when at a full charge, but it's not a lot. But if it was the same as the Starpew, it would just completely annihilate a lot of enemies. And considering that Starpew is an A tier weapon, I think it's fair enough that it should do that much damage. Especially after they nerfed it, which doesn't even make much sense to me. So that's just me rambling on. I got the Makarov, which apparently has a synergy with I think the backpack, but I don't even use the Makarov for the entirety of the run. I actually did this last part wrong right here. Typically, what I do is actually go in the middle, or start off in the middle and push, kill three of them, and then push a blast guy off. But uh, kind of forgot what I was doing there. Okay, I'm very fortunate to get the key right at the end there. It's gonna prove to be useful very late. Prove to be useful later on. I see the ring of triggers, and I'm like, maybe I should get it, but I was what I quickly thought right there was I don't have anything that's really I can really use ring of triggers on. I also don't have an active item, that's why I didn't pick it up. Again, I don't really have anything for like a boss weapon, so I'm just stuck with the blasphemy, which I use on Cannon Bowers, which is fine. I got here in a pretty on a fair time, on a fair time of like 5 minutes. Ideally, you wanna be off this floor like right about now, but there's not much I could have done. Like a good bullet time would have been I would have been on the hollow by now. I got the unicorn horn, which after I get it, I should have dropped the unicorn horn because it gave me the chance for Jan weapons. I don't even know why I picked it up. Looking back, and like later on in during this run, I was thinking I should drop the unicorn horn, and I just kept on forgetting to do it. There, I was trying to guard flash, mess it up there, so I had to take a hit. I couldn't tell which one was the right way direction here. I picked the wrong one. So this is an early chest generation of the fourth floor. I picked the wrong way. If I went the other way, it would have been shorter. But so yeah, that key that I got being very useful in giving me the combined rifle, which basically gave me a fantastic boss weapon as well as a nice room clearing weapon as well. I was trying to hit two of them at the same time, and then like I completely messed that up and like went in the middle of all three of them. So it just didn't hit any of them at all. And I got the worst room on the third floor or the fourth floor. This is a guaranteed 3 wave. That was just deciding which way I want to go. I didn't actually want to visit the shop, but I was in a situation where I now had to. Shrine room didn't matter. Heart didn't matter as much, but definitely get the ammo for the combined rifle. I'm not too sure why I checked my my inventory right there, but I did. So here I'm doing a little bit of some gun dropping. Basically the mixed gun dropping again. Where I'm hitting him sometimes with the gun drops for the ball form, and sometimes I'm not. Get some nice ammo right there as well, which is super crucial. And unfortunately, as I was entering this forge, I was hoping for a better generation, but I literally got the worst one here. Two exits, one of which is a corridor. So I had a time that could have been potentially a record, and it didn't happen because of well, it didn't happen at the end because of the this generation, but it didn't happen overall. Mainly, if I had to blame anything, it would be the priest. Didn't pick the right direction here. Again, typically longer. My belief is that longer exits lead to loops, and this was the longer exit. Unfortunately, did not lead to loop. This is the only generation where you, on the fifth floor, where you actually want to go towards the loop. It's some nice ammo there. That is important for the combined rifle. And I also, unfortunately, have to deal with the mini boss here. Coming up real soon. Unfortunate here that he actually gives me an ammo drop, making this fight a lot easier, or making like his fight not have to like matter as much. I picked the wrong direction here, which is unfortunate as well. So the reason I picked this direction was because it's generally downwards is not the way towards the dragon fight. This time it was. And again, here I'm doing the mixed gun dropping. Sometimes gun dropping in the ball form, sometimes not. I don't really care too much that I'm getting hit, just because of the amount of health that I have. And here I just switched to a slower gun drop. You can gun drop a lot faster than this, but doing a slower one doesn't make me completely destroy the damage cap. Messed up the timing there again, but this time I don't care about the this throwing knife. Because the dragon's really close to death and I had plenty of health. So you can one cycle with the combined rifle, it's just like really difficult. I don't quite understand it myself, so I just like shoot as fast as I can. Which isn't what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to time it, but I don't know that timing. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, overall, over the course of 6 months, it was really the priest that was kind of the major annoyance, the major theme that gave me a lot of time loss. Um, there's not really much I can say about that. I also didn't get too many good forges, but I did get a fair amount of good third floor generations, which is nice. So it balances out really. And I also got this cape rope and teleport prototype, which helped out a lot as well for those 2 runs.